1 in 5 adults experience a mental illness. 10 young people experience depression throughout their lives. 1 in 25 people live with a serious mental illness. 1 million people commit suicide each year worldwide. This is about 1 death every 40 seconds, 3,000 per day. For each individual who takes his or her life, 20 attempt to do so. What is the most common reason for this suicide? Mental illness. Hi, I'm Tatum Tatterchuck, and I am here to talk to you about mental illness. This topic is a very wide spectrum, so I am going to focus on just a few things. 1, what is mental illness? 2, what causes mental illness? And 3, why people self-harm or commit suicide. First, let me start with what is mental illness, just so everyone knows what I'm talking about before I get started. Mental illness includes our emotional, physical, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and how it affects what we do. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices throughout our day. Some mental illnesses you may be familiar with are depression, anxiety, and some you might not be so familiar with is bipolar disorder, OCD, and PTSD. Throughout my life, I have heard so many people say, oh, mental illness is just a cause of bullying, or mental illness isn't a disease. Bullying does not cause mental illness. It can further it, but not cause it, because mental illness is a disease. The cause of mental illness comes from the brain. Everything we do in life relies on neurons communicating with one another. Most neurons release a chemical message, a neurotransmitter, which causes a synapse and binds to receptors on the receiving neurons and starts to process over and over again. At the end of the line, the neurotransmitter may simulate a different kind of cell, like a glial cell, or may trigger a new chain of messages. These neurotransmitters send chemical messages between neurons, but if this does not work correctly, this is where a mental illness can be happening. If you were to look at a brain with a mental illness and compare it to one without a mental illness, there is quite a difference. Each mental illness has its own effect, like being sad, losing contact, becoming sleep deprived, etc. However, when the mental illness is very serious, behaviors become extreme. Some people go to self-harm or even take their own lives. Depression is the most common reason of why a person may commit suicide. This is mostly because very bad mental illness makes some people believe they would be better off dead, not having to deal with the pain or the sadness anymore. These people may think, no one will miss me if I die anyways, because their brain thinks this is the right thing, that they are sad and all alone in this world. Another reason may be because the person is psychotic. When someone is psychotic, voices usually appear in the brain. These voices start to have power over the whole person. These voices can sometimes say bad things, but the person will listen to them anyways. If people are impulsive, they also have a high chance of taking their own lives. Drugs and alcohol may also cause some people to commit suicide. If they try to commit suicide and fail, they will usually try again and again, each time more drunk, more high, or both. People may be crying out for help and they don't know how else to get it, so they resort to the worst possible solution. These people don't usually want to die, but they just want to alert those around them that something is seriously wrong. Few actually reach death. They just want to gain the attention they seek, so they choose the methods they don't think can kill them, but it ends up going wrong. Another reason may be they may have a philosophical desire to die. The people who fall under this reason usually want to take control of their own destiny and alleviate their own suffering, which usually can only be done by death. Around 1 in 12 teenagers self-harm. Some individuals do this because they don't know how else to cope with their difficulty of their mental illness. People with mental illnesses are hurting so bad that some believe if they hurt themselves, it will make the other pain better, using pain to cover pain. These cuts or burns are usually done on one's arm, but some people do it in places that are more hidden, like their upper arm or their thigh, to avoid attention. Cutting triggers the body's chemistry, The body naturally produces a chemical compound called endorphins. When endorphins are released, it helps the body deal with pain and stress. Cutting causes real physical pain, and endorphins cause an actual high desire to cover over real physical pain. So, when these people cut themselves, they are releasing these endorphins, which are then making them more happy. However, this is not a permanent solution. The most this can last is around 90 minutes. Your brain is flooded with endorphins, which give you a rush and a sense of calmness and relief that makes you feel like everything is okay. I hope knowing all of this, each one of you gained some knowledge on this topic, mental illness. Thank you.